This show is a breath of fresh air. You look at it as though it's all about sex appeal and some sort of raunchy wildness, but really the show's about real people and their struggles with themselves and with each other.
The whole premise of this show is these guys have been out of work for about 18 months.
They need a way to make some money.
The guys all come together and they really work through quite some interesting things, from being gay to being overweight to you know, not telling their wives that they've actually been laid off for quite some time because they're afraid of the reactions. So it's a lot about the pride of the man, you know, the pride of a man, and not wanting to admit that he's out of a job and desperate times call for desperate measures.
I figure out that these Chippendales make all kinds of money with these women dropping $50 at a time on these. So I get my buddy Dave together and I decide that, hey, we could do this. I mean, people want to see real men rather than these Chippendales that are just, you know, just poster boys.
I play Dave Buckatinsky, who is an out-of-work steel worker, has a bit of a weight problem and self-esteem issue when it comes to weight, and is probably the last person who wants to do this, but because his best friend had the idea, albeit probably a bad one at the time, he decides to go along with him. His best friend Jerry is divorced, out of work, is trying to make enough money to keep his son via custody issues and child care payments. They recruit a night watchman so they have a place to rehearse, and they find him as he's trying to kill himself because he's depressed because he's out of work, and a couple others that they find during the audition process that also worked at the plant, one of them being their former supervisor, and an older African-American gentleman named Horse.
The part that I play, Horse, probably is kind of felt always a little bit on the outs of really being a part of any team or involvement. When he talks to this first line that, you know, he was fired and laid off from McDonald's. You know, McDonald's is truly kind of a team kind of operation, and he couldn't do it there because he said that, you know, they said that he scared people. But, you know, I love the way that the guys all kind of bring him in, make him a part. He's the older guy. He's the pops of the group, and they help him kind of be a part. And he starts to recognize about how he can be a part of this and make something happen that's going to be good that the team does. And so there you have the full Monty.
My character's name is Ethan Gerard. He's we'll call him somewhat of the comic relief, even though this entire show is quite funny. But he's not really all that talented, but really has a lot of passion, really has a lot of joy for life, and that's reflected in the character. He is lonely and is looking for some friends, and he happens to find some, and even find something a little romantic with another character named Malcolm.
Malcolm McGregor is a nerdy, shy, sheltered kind of guy who still lives with his mother. He takes care of her. She is sick, but she also really controls him. So he has some social anxiety issues, and when he actually meets the guys, he is at his limit, and he is trying to kill himself. And the guys come along and rescue him, and that's really one of the first examples of how these guys help each other out to overcome some of their issues.
As you look at the characters, kind of misfits but not misfits, who kind of come together, and what I love about the plot is that they, you know, kind of become a team, all different individuals of what they bring, and trying to look at, you know, how do they do something. When you talk about it, you could be the full Monty, it could be anything, but what I like about it is the piece about how they come together as a group and as a team to kind of develop something that they all start to believe in, and also believe in themselves.
We are really trying to put on a show and present the human side of the show, what it's like to be out of work for 18 months, what it's like to be sitting at home while your wife is out there being the breadwinner. And this show is about how these gentlemen come up with an idea to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and move on with life, and make their families and their friends proud of the type of men that they know they're capable of being.
Really, it's a show about passion and about heart and about doing what you have to do to get where you want to be. And that's something I think everyone can relate to, and it's something that when you see it, it will not only change your mind about the show, but I think it'll even give you a little bit of perspective on life.